Let's skip that last 10 seconds. Welcome everyone. And Rick, welcome. Melody, Ian, Fat Filbert, that was the one. Welcome everyone. Just going to wait a few minutes till I'm starting, see if any other people join. More people will join us. Cheers. Thank you very much. I skipped last week, and I was actually thinking about, shall I go online today? I'm playing a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I don't know if you're familiar with gaming. You might have heard of it. It's a turn-based role-playing game. Absolutely amazing. The theme, there's so much paint and color references, like Clair Obscur, obviously, but like you have chroma shards and like the big like bad guy. I think I don't know if you know the game. Please don't spoil it. The paintress. It's a very intriguing story. Music is beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. Voice acting is amazing. So I was playing that last week. I've been doing that for the last few days. I actually bought the game, but the game never arrived at home. It got lost in the mail. So I had to buy a digital copy of it. Anyway, it's really good. So that's what I've been doing lately in the evenings to you know, as a relaxation method. Because I noticed I got a little bit too Indian yellow minded. There's a person drawing right now. I'm not going to touch it. I don't know if you can see it, but I put Pigment Lab over there. If I touch it, my hands will be stained like for the rest of the evening. My Irish whiskey is empty. I'm out of Irish whiskey. So that's a shame. So I have to do with clearless, just vodka. Anyway, around me you see a close-up of my, you know, the famous old Muller that I have. This is just one of them. That's a close-up of the, I want to say fossilized paint. I know it can't be fossilized. It's no more than 500-600 years old. But you know, that is pretty amazing to have something even that old here. Last time I showed you this, I showed you the bottom of this. Let's see the reflection there on a 3D scan on my computer. I think it was the last stream, I think, 2 weeks ago. I actually was planning to go online more often, but I was kind of stocking up on my manganese green, which is a constant process, and the Indian yellow. So my desk here and this thing over here, everything, my like mini lab, everything was a mess, even with my computer here. So there wasn't really a lot of space for me. Sure. Thanks for joining anyway, Mr. Pigments. Hope you're doing fine, doing good. Anyway, in that case, just a quick preview of what I'm about to show you. Obviously, the Mullers that you know, the very old stone one. The most special glass Muller I have from the Victorian age, black glass. Only one I've seen made out of black glass. Another Victorian age glass Muller. obviously my Thomas Pettit crystal muller, and my latest addition, you might have seen it on my Instagram. A wooden handle with a metal base plate. A muller that was used for grinding up pigments, paints, and ink for the presses back in the 19th century. This is from around 1850, 1870. West German or Dutch, based on the design and materials. Could have been French as well. But from what I've read, the French ones were either completely out of metal or even completely made out of wood. Often also not always with a flat base. But that's only very, very, very limited things I read about that. So this is awesome. But I actually wanted to show you this a little bit later. I'll show it in more detail later anyway. I'm very happy with this edition. For those of you who ask, you know, how did you find this one? Online marketplace, basically. I initially thought this would be a stone one because I just saw this picture where you just, you know, kind of not really detailed see it like this with the color, and you know, I thought, you know, it's a very smooth one compared to this one. But I also didn't see the size. It wasn't a hand, it was on a table, so I thought, you know, it was a kind of more like this size. Apparently it isn't. And this is just the weight distribution is really weird. This is definitely wood. This is definitely metal. You can see the nails in it as well. Bit rusty. And with the, let's get to the better camera here. For this, you can definitely see the wooden handle underneath the chipped off paint over there. So that's a nice touch. I actually couldn't tell what material this was. It could have been backlights. I don't know if they had that in the 1800s, 1850. But yeah, this is it's a nice find. It's a nice find. If you get whiskey barrel wood chips used for smoking food, you can smoke. I have used barrel chips for the barbecue. Ah, Ian, that's a good one. That's actually a good one. Not that I'm surprised. You're always full of amazing, out of the box and unexpected comments and ideas. Mostly comments though. I have some 96% alcohol here. Drinkable. Which is used for limoncellos. I use it for my Indian yellow. I can dilute that, since I think my vodka is almost empty as well. And shaken daily isn't a problem. I'm just putting it over here. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. Thank you very much, Ian. Just, you know, another one of those side projects. I used to have a small wooden barrel. I once had a side quest where I made a vanilla extract that was barrel aged. It was actually quite delicious, but then vanilla became way too expensive. And thus I started collecting pigments and old mullers, because that is not expensive. Does not make any sense. This is more niche, and this is there's way more going on with pigments that keep me interested, keep me hooked. Does it contaminate some pigments with metal grinding surface? Absolutely, especially since this is metal that is already rusting. I won't be using this. There's also like one nail over here. You can probably, let's have a look. It's not fully flat anymore. It sticks out a little bit. This is... I'm just putting something else up. One moment, please. So this is also not really level. This one is... So this is not... It's not really... it's not very usable. I won't be using it. At least it's not like being used as a doorstop as the other one. This is constantly the same. One moment, please. Yeah, I know, to make it smoother, but I'll do the wood chips first. So I won't be using this with the metal surface. Also, the metal is probably softer than some of the pigments that I have. I didn't really notice that. I never used my brass one, my Italian brass one. I mean, this is quite typical, right? This is a Western German or Dutch one, and this is Italian. It says a lot about the culture. Yeah, the Renaissance as well. I mean, the Renaissance there was just basically full of beauty, where here it was done in a different way. So yeah, that's another one. I have more. I don't know if I shall I take all my mullers here. I don't know if my desk can handle that. Probably, it probably can. Shall I put them? I don't know how I should put them. Well, at least I can take my oldest ones here, just for sure. This is another one, a pointy one, quite heavy, probably two-handed, I think. Although there's definitely a dent here that fits. Let's see, right-handed. Yeah, a right-handed person. I'm left-handed. Doesn't fit that comfortably. Right-handed, it fits perfectly. There's a dent over there that would just work like that, I think. Let me get rid of me. And then we have the iron oxide one, and I'm calling it the iron oxide one because basically this is I actually thought you meant this by Indian Red Maker, Rick, because of... I'm just going to put my camera over there. This is just all iron oxide. Ochres, yellow ochres, red ochres. There's the stone, the actual stone of the muller, and other than that, you see like there's a big chip of paint off it, but other than that, it's just all ochres, red, yellow, orange, I don't know. A bit of modern white paint has been leaked over it. The doorstop one, still can't believe this was used as a doorstop. It's a shame, actually. I think this was higher. This used to be higher, but it's almost polished, the bottom, and broken off. Obviously, the handle used to be longer, I think, but that has been a while ago because it is actually shiny, and it's actually quite hard for this rock to be shiny just out of touch instead of any varnish on it. So I think this either happened when this was still used, or it's been used. I don't know. It's been touched a lot after it broke. I also have a new little brass pestle and mortar. I'm not quite sure if this is if this is original. It is brass, and it's been, well, it's going orange, which means it's very oxidated, and used a lot. You do see where it's been kind of poured from a mold, but that really doesn't say a lot about the age. I don't know. Well, basically, yeah, Rick. That's basically what's happening here. I'm just going to have a look. I have a heavier, like a real heavy, an actual really heavy, like it's way bigger than this, also with little handles, way shinier as well. I'm quite sure that this is an original. 1595. 1595. That is quite old. With this as well. Speaking of brass, this is a modern one, which I have used last week. So I was in contact with Evie Hatch from the Pigment Stories of Jackson's, if you know the name, and obviously not only the reels but also the author of this book, which I've shown on the live. And she was, I don't know, she was working on something, and there was a text that said that rubies give a beautiful red pigment. Happens to be that I have a lab-grown ruby here, which in its crystal structure is the same as natural ruby, only this is not like, this purity isn't, it's not a piece of, you can't make a piece of jewelry out of this, but chemically this is the same. Gulshan, welcome. Downside of ruby is it's second to diamond when it comes to hardness. So the, I don't know if you can actually, if it will focus on this, the pestle here has been quite dented by the ruby, but I managed to make a pigment out of it, which was fine enough to make paint out of it. I used this thing for my amethyst, by the way, and this was the paint that came out of that. Very, very disappointing. I didn't expect anything. I could have also gone to Kramer and look for ruby pigment, because they actually sell that. Interestingly, though, you know, making it yourself is always more fun. Interestingly, ruby is UV reflective. And this, let me get rid of this once more. This actually shows a pink, I don't know if you can see the pink. Probably can't see the pink. Can you see some pink? You can see some pink here. Well, it shows some pink reflectance in the swatch. Here is obvious. I mean, this actually hurts my eyes. This is the ruby. It is highlights a red, orange red. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Oh, some pieces drops off. You can actually see them here. Absolutely beautiful color. And really hard to show on camera, but that was a fun thing. It took a little bit more time than I anticipated it to be. But yeah, brass mullers are quite good for that. Since it's second to diamond when it comes to hardness, how can you still use a brass which is quite soft? Pestle and mortar for it. It's about impact. So especially like a larger piece, especially when it's a pure crystal, like I had the amethyst, is really easy to break. They're very brittle. This here, the entire structure of all those little fragments of hardness puzzled together. I'll say hi to Sparky for me. Hello, Sparky. I'm doing it myself, but you may pet him for me. The structure of this makes it quite hard for that, because there's all like nooks and crannies that just bash into the soft metal. Happy that I have that one, because I would never use these for that. I really am afraid that this one will just break. That is so much thicker. So yeah, that was a fun little side quest, and always fun to talk to people about pigments, and you know, with any questions. So if you have a pigment question, or if you want to know anything about a pigment, or if you're wondering if I have a certain pigment, just send me a message, and happy to make time for that, because I think those things are always fun. Yeah. That was a little bit too much of a sip. I saw a YouTube video, yeah, where someone was no, it wasn't he? I think it was on YouTube, when someone shattered a diamond with a regular hammer, and it was about just the impact. So that's interesting. That made me think of this. Oh, and I have another one. A little bit. Is there anything in there? Oh yeah, there's still lapis in there. I use this one, which is actually quite old. I use this one for my lapis pigment, and I still use it for that. It actually works wonderfully. I'm a collector of old stuff, but I'm not a museum. I still use this stuff, and I don't know if there's any collectors here or on the internet who know anything about this stuff, or how old it might be, because this is a proper real thing which has been used a lot in the past. There were markings on it which have been completely kind of polished off by the hand. But yeah, I'm really enjoying using the old stuff there. And there's obviously loads of glass mullers here. I mean, older ones, newer ones. This is an older one, a bigger older one. I have a very old tiny muller, also quite old, and yeah, there's loads of glass stuff. But like this stuff, what I'm showing here, this is what I'm really interested in. I've been to the Old Holland Museum once, and they have an old 3-roll mill, a hand powered 3-roll mill with stone rollers in it. That you know, that kind of stuff is amazing, like old paint grinders or pigment grinders. But that's kind of machinery, or that's a full installation with you know the stand that it comes with. I don't have any room for it, and I've never seen anything like that on the market for sale. So those are like true museum pieces. These as well. I mean, you know, found this one. I found literally found everything online, by the way. Is there anything I haven't found online? I found everything online except for some glass mullers, which I got from artist studios that weren't used anymore. Tons to muller, yeah. I do tend to overmill things. I'm just thinking where everything comes from. This is all online. It's not all from abroad. It's not all, but it's definitely not all locally. I mean, this one is from the UK. This one was from Italy. I think this one is from Italy as well. At least south of Europe. South of the Netherlands. This one as well. This one from the west. So I think this was Rembrandt's muller. This is just something I like to imagine with this one. I think it is. This one is very interesting. Also from the south of the Netherlands. Limburg. These three are, by the way. Not from the same place, but not quite sure if this one, like the latest one that I have with the wooden handle and the metal base, if this is from West Germany or from the Netherlands. That is not quite clear. We did use the same style in the 19th century, so in the 1800s. Oh, Gulchen, this is a... Any pigment you haven't made paint with on stream yet? Well, there's even pigments I haven't made paint with in general. Quite a lot of them. So it's, yeah. If it was Rembrandt's muller, some museum would want to buy it from you. Yes, I think the Rembrandt Museum, because I've been there last summer. They have that old like mulling stone, like the big piece of stone on a big piece of wood. In Rembrandt's home, his home is now a museum, and in his old studio there's that big stone, and there's a couple of old stone mullers, but they are too clean for my liking. One, so I asked like is that? I can show you. I made pictures. I even made videos. In case I needed it for YouTube. Let me have a look. Where to find it on the map? That must be Amsterdam. So yeah, this is one of the mullers that is in the Rembrandt Museum. It is okay. It's not too clean. Yeah, it is too clean. I think definitely for like an artist muller, this was too clean. Rocks like this, though, aren't. Let me get this on full silent mode. Rocks like silent mode. Anyone who is reacting on YouTube videos right now, I'm live. Just join here. So this is like this could be this crusty and everything, as this one, also quite crusty. This one looks too clean for me. This looks like a modern stone. It's too polished. It is dirty though. This one looks more like it. Also very clean. But looking at how it's made, I don't know. It's all of these are tapered. All of the, and this is too straight. This is the grey stone, by the way, where it's milled on. And those are the millers. Well, those are the millers. Old pestle and mortar. Old stuff. Old stuff here. Let me have. I had an overview, right? But those were all the milling stones and millers on this plate there. So yeah, I asked them, are any of those millers original? No, none of the millers were. They were all put there later. The stone, the big milling stone, probably is the original one, since it's been there since the beginning of the museum, and they didn't really see any way how they would have taken that out of the building or into the building later without breaking or opening anything. So that's probably been done very early, say, you know, when Rembrandt was actually using it. So yeah. What are you saying, Ian? Have you been a bad boy? I would very much like to think that this would have been Rembrandt's one. I know that's highly impossible. Also because I do like this one the most, shape-wise, and how how you can actually see the paint layers. It's very old. It's like petrified paint here, almost fossilized, and I don't really have this with this one. I mean, there's like a layer of dark stuff here. It has been used a lot because this, I'm quite sure that this dent here and that dent here, also right-handed, fits beautifully for my thumb. This actually feels quite ergonomic and comfortable. The wooden one, I noticed, it has on several places. It's not even. On several places there's like dents where actually this finger and these fingers fit quite nicely. So to grip it like this, quite low. The higher you grip a muller, the more unstable it gets, because the higher the turning point will be, or the weight to the turning point. So the lower, the more stable it is. Even with. That's why I don't mind the long handle with this one, because the base is very wide. But with other glass mullers that I have with a long handle, sometimes it's really not easy to control. So this one, I don't get this one. I really don't get this one. I would have made like the handle this big and even a bit thicker, because my fingers are touching each other here, whereas here, it's also about the girth. It's don't need to talk about that. Here as well, it's a little less obvious of like a thumbprint place, but it does quite fit. It's the right height. Looking at the rest of it, I don't know. But this was my first old muller, and till this day it is my favorite. I don't get this one. I do get this one. I mean, it's Thank you for that addition, Ian. It's just weird, but it's also a small base. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I love this one. That is just because the black glass, I've never seen anything like this. This is about the same age as the wooden one, I think. Maybe a little bit older, Victorian age. Definitely a better craftsmanship than this. Although I am very happy that this has survived for the past 150 to 180 years. Wood or metal don't always survive that long, especially when it's used in a workshop. Glass, if it is not being dropped, this will last lifetimes. Same as stone. Although the stone will wear a little bit quicker. Anyway, I will put this back. Again, there's a little bit more people, a little bit more around here now. If you are ever wondering, playing or want to play Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I think it's really worth it if you like turn-based role-playing games. If you don't like those, it's not for you. But the cutscenes, as well as the voice acting, the music, the graphics, they all look quite damn good. And there's so much references, like I said before, to color theory, paint, even pigment. It's really a pleasant surprise. It's been out for a while, but I've been hearing more people. Yeah, what I want to say, I've been hearing more people talk about it. I started to stream Gulchen. That's why I wasn't here last week. I was playing that game. I actually bought it, a physical copy, but it got lost in the mail. So I bought a digital copy eventually, because I really wanted to play it last week. And so far it's been amazing, to be honest. It's a good time. It's also very relaxing, and a great way of storytelling. Yeah. So that's why I wasn't online. I was actually in doubt whether I should go on online today, because I've been kind of spending my evenings playing that game for a few hours. Not a few hours every day, by the way. But yeah, it's worth it. It's at least it's worth a try. I mean, I think I'm literally able to stream it playing on my TV. I think I've even connected my PlayStation to Twitch. I do have a Twitch account, but I didn't link them to my PlayStation. So I might be able to stream it and show you. Oh, you can just look up any regular stream. Well, it is really like a turn-based role-playing game. So more like the Final Fantasy. Like, it reminded me of the old Final Fantasies I played. Whereas Zelda is just more like real-time action. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of these in a way that I'm just going to place them back to where they belong. Where I think they belong, at least. That actually hurts my shoulder. So coming Monday, I have another appointment at the hospital for my darn shoulder. Where was this one? This one was here, and this one was here. Yes, I have them all back in place. And this one was right over there. And you wouldn't even notice because my big hat is in front of it. So yeah, latest addition to the Muller collection, and I just can't keep like playing with it. I mean, it is very light at the top. This is completely out of balance. I don't want to do this too much because I'm really afraid that the metal will. I don't know. I won't scratch the glass, but it is quite a heavy plate. I'm quite sure. Look, feeling the balance. I'm quite sure. That there's something metal, something more metal in here, because this is very light. I mean, I can just feel that is very light, but this is very heavy, and that's not just that thin metal plate over there. Well, now you're starting something, Rick. Cassian purple? Purple of Cassius? That was it. Purple of Cassius is a pigment made with gold. It's a purple, obviously, because otherwise it wouldn't be purple of Cassius. But it's a purple pigment made with gold. I've been looking up what it takes to make it, and I've been finding all the right ingredients for it. That would set me back a few months, because I do need actual gold for that stuff. Gold in such a condition that I can actually make a pigment out of, that it will react a fluid form of gold. So it's all been already been dissolved in stuff. I don't know. I looked into it a few months ago, and I thought, maybe I can save a few bucks a month, and then I'll get there. But then I come across this, and this is just once in a lifetime possibility, and at least it feels like it anyway right now, because I thought that with the stone muller as well, and I'm 4 stone mullers further now. It wasn't a once in a lifetime opportunity, but my first one is the most beautiful still. This one is wood with metal, first of its kind for me. Here, wouldn't mind getting more of these, and I did pay a quite surprising price for it. Wasn't expensive at all. I have to tell you that. It's not at all. So yeah, quite happy with that. What I want to show you as well today, and then I'm just going to. No, I'm not going to go. I'm not. I can turn on the game a little bit later as well. It will wait for me just fine. But I do want to show you this. What is this? This is a new option I saw on the Kramer Pigments website. Because yes, this is Kramer Pigments, and yes, you can turn it. A 3-dimensional color space with all of their pigments. I think this is absolutely amazing. What is this bright blue one? That is obviously ultramarine blue. Can you actually see it? And if you click on it, you find a picture of it. It is not very fast, and it is in Deutsch. It is in German, so zur Produktseite means to the product website, and you go to the German page. Like I said, it's not quite fast. Yeah, but I have like a very nice PlayStation 5 Pro, so not going to do that. you get the pigment. You go to the pigment website. So very cool. How do you get there? Let me get to a very the most orange of oranges, PO73. I didn't even see it. Should be PO73. Pearl orange. Yes, there it is. Oh, that is Google. Go to the English one. So everyone can follow. You can kind of. You go to information and there you have lab colors in 3D. I just stumbled upon the option. If you click on that, it also takes a while, but you can even switch in the corner here, but you don't see it because of my Dirty Blue logo. You can even turn it to black and white backgrounds. Oh, I clicked on the pigment. So for the very dark pigments, that is very convenient, but color-wise, I do like the dark one better. But for the very dark pigments, you can see them, but it's clearer like this. So which is the darkest, I don't know, the darkest color that they have in blue? Darkest color in general should be looked at like this. I think it is, if we look at it like this, it is this one. And this pigment is zur Produktseite. That is not a dark. Oh, that's a dark red. What is the blackest dark? Sepia, fine. Is that the darkest black that they have? Doubt it. The whitest white that they have must be lead. Rosenquarz. I don't think it's all of their pigments. I will ask them. I will definitely ask them. But very neat tool, just, you know, something completely in our niche. I think is there something like this over here as well? Visualize your colors. Yeah, your colors. I can visualize my colors. Well, we can look at art materials, for instance, and then we go to dry pigments. Let's go to Kramer as well, just to have a comparison. This is also, I only saw this once, but you can actually have a dot card like on artistpigments.org. If you go to this part of a brand, you have all the different color spaces, and then you have this dot chart view. There's no three-dimensional space here, but I'm quite sure there is a three-dimensional option. Not quite sure. I will look into that. But anyway, Kramer does have one for their pigments. That is a good title, yeah. I haven't been playing that Zelda yet. To be honest, I haven't been playing a lot of games lately, apart from that one. Play Obscure, and I sometimes just a shooter, but that's like tops 15-20 minutes I play an online shooter game, just to blow off some steam or something, I don't know. And I actually really want to buy a Switch too, but I really don't have the money for it. So I won't be doing that. And I'm really happy with, that I have a Switch anyway. Mario Kart, no matter what Switch, Although the new one looks really beautiful, plays quite nice as well. The old one just works fine. It's a classic, so I'm happy with that. With the amount of that, you know, I'm playing, all my kids. I don't need another new console for it. So yeah, what shall we do? What time is it? 9:30. So we have a little bit of time to make something. Good question. It looks really good, and the graphics look really good. And a Nintendo with good graphics. It's been a long while, but yeah, I don't know. It's I would probably buy that for like 2 or 3 games tops. With the prices of those games as well, I really don't have the money for it. Not even close. And I have quite an expensive PlayStation, so graphic-wise, when it comes to like shooters and things that actually, for me, kind of where the graphics do matter a little bit more. For Mario, I really don't care. Yeah. Still, the PS5 Pro is very solid when it comes to that. Anyway. I know what I'm going to make. I'm not going to... No, I don't know which pigment I'm going to use, but I know what kind of pigment I'm going to use. That's a little bit abstract, I think, saying it like that. Very happy those come in plastic bottles. Shaky, because let's just make a random pigment. A random pigment, it's not really random, I just took it. PBr42 from Guerra, a dispersion that I'm going to turn into paint, which is quite difficult because they are so easy to unmix. Let's get this little lab on and let's put this thing to use. That does help a lot. Okay. I hope this is mixed enough. What am I going to make? A brown. Azo Golden Brown. PBr42. A pigment I don't have as a dry pigment, I think. Not quite sure. I actually want to make something that I don't have as a dry pigment, so I really want to be sure about this. Let's have a look. PBr42 only from Guerra. Nope, I only have this one. That is way too fluid. Okay, we're going to make some new... Damn, that did work. We're going to make some more of this. I'm going to put it in a bottle. I'm going to print pans of this. Okay, that did wonders. Because I am used that this stuff is so sticky. But we're going to... It's like making pancakes. It's quite thin though, so it looks way more than it is. But it is also way more than I wanted it to be. I'm going to mix it like this as well. To be honest, I don't like dispersions when it comes to paint making. There's so much more control over dry pigments than this stuff, and you can actually see it happening here. I need to open this app for it. I will show you. I will show you. Let's go that way. You see that? That's nasty. So it doesn't flow into your binder as some people think it does. It does weird stuff with binders, with water-based binders at least. Making it sometimes harder than a hydrophobic pigment. PBr42 when? I've made PBr42 once. Right? I've made it a while back, I think. Quite sure of it, actually. Not sure anymore. I'm quite sure I made PBr42. If I haven't, I'll make that next time, and at least as much as, as this, because this is. It's actually this one is actually not that bad to mix. What I do notice when, wasn't it? Well, I had a little bit of dry pigment, which I looked for a few weeks back because someone wanted a necklace with PBr42, and I did find that, but I don't know where I left that. It was like from a plastic Ziploc bag, dry pigment. So I really had just a little, but I do have it as a dispersion as well. So yeah, I'll be putting this in a tube or a bottle, and I'll print some pens for it. But as you can, as you might be able to see, let's get a. Yes, it's way thicker now than it was when it came out of the bottle, and so the combination of the dispersion and my binder make a thicker liquid than both of them are separately. So there's definitely, like, I can make a pile of it here. I definitely couldn't do that before, which is quite weird, I think. So there's something happening in here. It doesn't smell like alcohol. So it's the dispersant that is in the dispersion that actually makes it act a little bit weird. But I don't want to dilute my pigment concentration, because I see people put like dextrin in it. I see people adding way more glycerin to it. More. Thanks, Ian. Okay. I contacted Guerra about, what do you suggest, and they referred to a video that I missed, how to make watercolors out of it, and it just put, like, I think 10-20% total of pigment dispersion. Then they have the binder, and then I think it's dextrin what they use and what they advise on using to make it stable. But my experience with this, my little experience with these I've played with them quite a bit, quite a few of them that I've just tried tiny drops of, just to see what the colors are. I'll put them under the spectrometer to see how it compares to a color that I already have. Well, I don't think it does, actually. obviously there is a way to find out. I still have this spoon with wet. It's not enough alcohol for it to light. No. Expect something very nasty. There was just moisture being evaporating. So there's not enough alcohol in it to light up. So I don't think it's the alcohol that has. I mean, you would notice a reaction like this, gum arabic solidifying when you have an alcohol above 30%. A color shelf with gems and jellies. That sounds quite like I could do such a thing as well. Or at least I would put my gems and jellies in order of color, if I would have more than 3. Which I think I have right now. Like strawberry marmalade and I think blueberry. So yeah. Which I made myself, the blueberry one. And blackcurrant I made as well. Well, that's looks the same in a jar. Okay, so this was a more of a pleasant mulling session compared to other dispersions that I've used. Sentient, welcome. What I noticed, especially the, I had a small bottle of the quinacridone Gold Deep that I bought when they sent me the to dry. I had them over here. Oh, here they are. When they gifted me the quinacridone Gold Dry Pigment and quinacridone Gold Deep Dry Pigment for me to try, I did order a small bottle of the quinacridone Gold Deep to try as a dispersion. That was so lumpy. It also kind of solidified, but also loads of tiny specks in it, as if it was already kind of dried out in the bottle, which it wasn't, because it was a new pigment. This is Azo Golden Brown PBr42 from Guerra. That's the one. Azo, so I think I can take the 25. That's a good idea, Gulchen. I can make a few more dots out of this. I mean, it wasn't such a bad pigment to make. Let's do this once more over it. That's good. So when it comes to organic synthetic pigments, man-made modern organic pigments like an Azo pigment, anywhere between 5, anything 5 and lower is good. In this case, that is the case where you can see the metal being shown a little bit more above 5. Organic synthetic pigments guideline is 5 to 10 micrometers. A pigment like this, I would expect around 5, which is kind of spot on when you look at this spot over here. So yeah, it's not that I can mull it any finer than it already is in the dispersion, but for me, it's mostly seeing if there isn't any formation of lumps in the mixture. Because that is the case when it comes to, let me get a jar first. When it comes to the quinacridone that I've tried, I need to get some new of these as well. Obviously, we're going to make a swatch. Going to take a few dots. I don't know if this is, yes, it's focused. Look at that. That's better. This isn't quinacridone. No, but the quinacridone gold that is discontinued. Yeah, I don't like the dispersion of it. At least the deep one. I haven't tried. Have I tried the other one? I may have tried the other one. But I remember, in general, the dispersion, I really don't like that. For me, it's more work to get those little parts out. It feels like parts. It feels like paint chips or something that's in there. And I contacted Guerra about it. Like, is this normal? And they say no, you don't use enough binder because that's just such a concentrated pigment that it doesn't wanna mix with the amount of binder that you have, so it starts to lump, so to make lumps, which it definitely wasn't, because I tried a tiny drop of binder in a large spoonful, no, tiny drop of pigment in a large spoonful of binder, and it did exactly the same thing. So it definitely wasn't me or that. I did notice it took a lot of mulling. Yeah, 42. It took a lot of mulling to get those out. A lot more than I wanted. So probably something that they used for the dispersion. Their dispersing agent. Let's have a look which brush I'm going to use for this. There's a lovely warm brown, reddish brown that it's definitely, when it comes to texture, there's definitely a lot of difference with a pigment like this Azo pigment and a natural pigment. Color-wise, it could be anything ranging from a burnt ochre to a burnt sienna to even iron oxide. Color-wise, texture-wise, this is definitely a synthetic organic pigment. It is way finer, has less texture in it. So yeah, PBr41 synthetic iron oxide. So yeah, this could definitely be, like, color-wise, this could definitely be one of those. Even there are very smooth, almost without texture versions of that pigment. So I do like it. I do like it. Just, you know, as a paint maker, for me, looking at would it be worth it to add it to my line of paint, I would. Well, sorry. Let me continue. Continue finishing my sentence. I would first put this under the spectrometer and see, like, how much difference is there really in the reflectance. So that also shows me how much difference there is in when it comes to color mixing only. So I'm not talking about the texture. When it comes to mixing. So if this would, for instance, reflect a lot of UV, so it has lots of blues in there where maybe an iron oxide doesn't have it, this would definitely react differently in mixes. Purely looking at the color, and I think most of people that buy paint will do that. They see a color or they see a swatch, and I'm not talking about my audience here, but I'm not talking about most people that buy paints on Etsy or in the store or wherever. They're not looking at colors like that. Most people. Obviously, there are exceptions. Well, Mr. Pigments, I thought, you know, it would be fun to make paint out of dispersion, and this one was quite pleasant, to be honest. I did notice with this one that it thickens up when I'm adding it to my binder as well, which is quite a weird reaction. A reaction that I only have had with alcohol in the past when it comes to gum arabic. But there weren't any lumps in this one. So yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with them yet. But I thought, you know, let's make a pigment that I haven't made yet, and a form of pigment that I think I've never made during my live stream. I don't think I have worked with the dispersion on my live stream before. So yeah. And the thing with the lumps, it's the same as if I would make my Indian yellow nickel dioxide yellow, PY153. If I wouldn't use my method for it, so putting a pile of pigment in the middle and the binder around it and going slowly from the outside towards the middle, if I would just put my muller on top of it with the binder, or if I would mix my binder with the pigment with a palette knife and mull, then I noticed there's loads of specks underneath my muller that leave lines, like lines through my. If I go like this with my muller, I do see lines. Then I think, you know, what's happening, and those are specks of pigments underneath my muller. It's really annoying because that means not all of your glass is touching the other glass. So the mulling is quite inefficient what you're doing. and that are the same kind of specs that are in the quinacridone that I've tried the dispersion from earlier. The same kind of specs that give that. I don't like those. And there's quite some logic, like it's really quite, it makes a lot of sense that some pigments act differently than others when they are in a dispersion form, because when they're in their natural dry form, it's the same. Like every pigment has its own personality, has its own characteristics, and acts differently. But as a dispersion, it just feels like, no, this is PBr42. It feels like you're just buying a colored liquid, like paint. You can use it as is. More than dry pigment. It's almost exactly the same as paint in comparison to dry pigments, because in a dry pigment you see how fine it is, how much it lumps together in the jar already. If it is hydrophobic, or if it's just super, you can feel the weight, you can all those elements, all those all the different senses that you use working with a dry pigment, they're all gone when you're working with a pigment dispersion. This is just a liquid that you mix with another liquid. So yeah, it's it makes sense that there are differences, but it takes a little bit. It takes the magic of paint making away from all of it. So yeah, I've never used this before as well, so I really thought it would be thicker. Like I only think I've one or two dispersions that I've tried before, and they were all quite thick. So I really thought it would be thicker. That's why I have quite a lot of paint right now of it, but that's okay. I mean, I'm letting it dry right now, and I'm just going to have a look what it does. Is my spectrometer even charged? Because I have not used that in a while. Should be okay. Yes, okay. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I have no idea if PBr42 is extinct. I can look it up for you if you want to, but first connecting my NICs. I can look it up in the meantime. PBr42. Where is the only one that has it, so I think it is. Yeah, it's discontinued. It just says it on the website. Discontinued. But you know, this is a pigment where I think, okay, maybe that's been for a reason. I mean, if it looks too much like an iron oxide and it feels too much like an iron oxide, why not use an iron oxide? And in our case, when we're collecting or when we're very nerdy when it comes to pigments, we can explain ourselves. But commercially, it really doesn't make sense for me to buy a lot of this, ask way more money for it, because it's way more expensive for me to buy if the end user won't be able to see or tell a difference. I'll wait a little bit longer. I can put it over here. I have a heater for it. Up there goes my red light. I've installed a little cradle for my paper to go on, so I don't have to lower my lamp anymore. I'm just putting the paper just underneath the lamp so it dries in the meantime. A dark transparent brown. Look into any umber. No, not any umber. Some of them are quite opaque. There's nice, warmer, quite transparent umbers. But you say iron oxide is very similar but brighter. It's quite a bold statement because iron oxide is one of the widest colors. Like, it goes from a bright red, yes, to almost a blackish brown. All PBr101 iron oxides. I mean, only the difference between my Caput Mortuum and an Indian Red, which look quite similar as a dry pigment, but are two completely different colors, completely different characteristics. One is half transparent, one is fully opaque, one is separating into a purple, warm purple red brown with a black. One is a bright red that's fully opaque. It's yeah. That's quite fast, actually. Okay, let's do your measurements. I will do it over here since I do want my nicks to be on the charger while I'm doing this. I'm not quite sure how full it is. Let's put my red ochre, natural ochre, in from the library in here. Okay, so there's a difference. I'm going to show it to you. So the difference here, in the back there is a quite a lovely transparent red natural ochre PBr102, and in the front the dotted line that you see in the red dots is the Azo golden brown. Overall, not much of a difference, but obviously this Azo has a little bit more green that is reflected, has a little bit less orange that is reflected, and a little bit more red and violet. So overall, if you would look from a very, very far distance, you think that is the same line. Whereas the Azo just has a little bit of a curve at the beginning, where the natural ochre has a flat line, and then the Azo has like a bump and a straight line up, whereas the ochre has a nice curve going up in a rounded curve. So that is the most unprofessional way to describe it, but I think you get the point. Let's remove the patch, add a different red to its PBr102. That will not be. No, let's see, we can have a look. Nah, definitely not. Not enough green. Remove, add color, adding the Indian red. Not even close. No, which is quite obvious. Okay. So look at the oranges. Orange. That's just PO48. I mean, I know it lacks the greens. It's way higher there. Nah. I think, to be honest, the first one. This is a brown ochre, by the way. PBr42 as well. I'm going to ignore that comment, Ian. Oh, sorry, I'm fully kind of measure. Nah. I think the red ochre was spot on when it comes to how close it can kind of become. Putting it on a little darker spot here, see if that makes much of a difference. There's a little bit more of a curve when I'm going in a master tone, when I'm going more in the wash. And this is a circular, right? So this is not an upside down, an up down wash thing. Obviously, color wise, I mean, I probably have the ochre here. I'm not quite sure if I have that, but I should have the ochre here. No, I still don't have a folder for it, Gulchen. I've been making pigments. Luckily, you can't see me, but if I do like this, I don't want to hear it. I thought I had the. This is the red ochre. That wasn't too bad. That's the red ochre. And this is this one. This is definitely more red. This has more greens in it. Which dulls the red down a little bit. Also a little bit more violet. So it makes... That's good. Don't say anything. This makes the color difference here makes sense. Putting it next to each other, and seeing it like this makes sense for me. If it doesn't make sense for you, happy to explain. But don't ask. I don't feel like it. No, but it makes. Now you're mentioning it anyway. That's just mean. No card binder. Still no. No 3D printed option, nothing. Like I said, I've been making pigments. I've been breaking my brain about on Indian yellow, and I've been making stashes of manganese green. I've washed a bit, which is drying. This is washed and beautiful. Yes, obviously, more people that mention it. Well, you know what? You know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. Ooh, that's a good blue. Oh, I like the blue. Yeah, definitely like the blue. So, no, here's my wish list. If you're annoyed by it, buy it for me. Sorry about this, guys. No, I'm not going to buy one. I'm not going to buy one. I can buy one once, but I don't feel like it now. You're making a problem out of it. That's the solution. Anyway, that was a cheap move of me. I like the color. I don't know if I like the color. I mean, it's a nice brown. But looking at it like this, I mean, definitely a different, you know, this is definitely a red and this is definitely a brown. I can see that difference is clear for me here. Yeah, I did like choose the cheapest option for my wish list, by the way. Just saying, and a nice like violet bluish pungent thing, which suits my brand. I don't think this would be worth it for me adding it to my paint, my regular line of paint. I do have a I can sell quite a few dots now, and at least 3 or 4 pens full, half pens full. Anyway, it's 10:15. I've been online for an hour and a half now. I've made way too much of a color that I actually don't want. No, I didn't need this much of the color. It's not that I didn't want it. I'm sorry, Azo Golden Brown. I didn't mean that. Any questions? Anything else? Anything for next week, or maybe sooner? I'm not quite sure if I'm going to. Oh, please don't. Which is weird. Why couldn't you buy? Well, anyway. Happy you couldn't. Then I would feel obliged to actually do something with my cards, which is not something on my to-do list. Anyway. I mean, like, Gulchen asked me, are there any pigments that you haven't made like on the live yet? And I've made loads of pigments on the live. I haven't made more pigments on the live than I have, and loads of the pigments that I never made during live I also didn't make in general. Okay. Everyone's looking at you now, Gulchen. No, please don't spend your money on it. I will feel actually very bad about that. This is one of the things, like I see historische Restbestand, otherwise historical remains, on the Kramer website, and I just want to buy that. Right, it's not because this is extinct. This doesn't even have a pigment number. Sikopal Blau, which is I think it's Sun Pharaoh, or which one is it, Mr. Pigments? I'm looking at you. It's a brand name, Sikopal. I can just look it up, but I don't feel like it. Probably has a pigment number. Probably is a mix. And you buy a kilogram of the stuff all at once because it's a historical remain. And I have a few of those which I really, you know, I shouldn't. It's Sun, right? Yeah. Okay, good. I have here another kilogram. Blau leuchtend anlich Mangan. Historischer Restbestand. Anlich is that the hue? Well, I don't know if you can see it, but there is quite a difference in the size of the bags, and this is both a kilogram. This is way heavier than this. No, it's both a kilogram. I'm lying. This isn't heavier. I know, but volume-wise, looking at like how much my hand is full, and this is a kilogram in comparison with like this is just a real handful, and this is also a kilogram. You know what I mean, right? It's both a kilogram. I'm lying if I say this is heavier. It does really feel heavier, by the way. Ha! 116. Ha! 988. No, 994. So this one is heavier. I knew my hands weren't lying. I'm not quite sure. It's definitely mixed with white. So yeah, these are fun things, and I've barely made any of these because this is just. Sometimes I find out that, you know, some of these are actually quite interesting mixes. So, you know, I do think it's quite affordable as well, as far as I can remember. Let me just have a look if there's any historical remains on the website. I think there was a black. Pigments and. Is it gone? Oh no, it's gone. Oh no, I can still find it here. Micro-swirls black, also sun. Remaining stock, a kilogram for 25 euros, which is quite good. But you know, the blues are quite interesting. A black a little less. We need a Maya blue stream. I've done a Maya blue stream once. Yeah, they were quite green. They were actually more green than my ultramarine green, if I remember correctly. Right? Happy to do it. I mean, there's no issue with that. I think I have a ton of Maya blue somewhere as well as the Maya yellow and red, which are ridiculous amounts that I have of those. I mean, like if I look at the, just look at this. I mean, that's a big bag. Like this is my hand. That's a big bag of Maya yellow, and there's a bigger bag of Maya red over there, which is quite ridiculous. And why was my flash on? That's not even all of it. I think I have 2 more of those bags, which were actually gifted to me before I actually realized what a Maya pigment is. I knew about Maya blue, but I didn't know the other Mayas were like technically made in a similar way. I thought it was just a commercial thing. Speaking of commercial things, and being fully screwed, so Culture Hustle, they sent me an email. I didn't want to share this before, but they sent me an email like, you have a certain amount of coupons or I don't know. Came down to that I could buy the Yves Klein blue, the Easy Klein from them for like €10 ish, and that was back in June, if I remember correctly. So it's been a long time ago, and I didn't hear anything about it. And then I thought, you know, during summer, I thought, you know, I'm going to cancel it. I want my money back. Screw them. I've had it. I actually wanted to buy the paint to actually prove to them that their paint isn't as blue as they claim it to be. So I didn't really buy it with the best intentions, to be honest. But I've sent like 8. I wanted to say 6, 8 emails that I want to refund and I want to cancel it, and they replied to me 7 of those times. They replied to me, we are having technical difficulties with the formula. We can't send it to you, but we're busy making your product so we can ship it to you as fast as possible. I just kept replying to that. Stop making it for me. If you are, I just want my money back. That's it. I did ask for a request, that's true. Eventually, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got an email that they understood my feelings and that they would see what they could do for me. And I never heard from them back again. So tomorrow I will send an email again, I think. But, well, basically, Gulchen, yeah, because it's I mean, if packages have been, I've lost packages in the mail more than I want to, and more than I could afford at one time as well. Last year has really set me back too much when it came to paying it myself, having to pay it myself. So I know how frustrating that can be, but having all the bold claims that they have on their website, and they keep getting worse, and then selling something that is in stock, which isn't, it's not even, I didn't pre-order it, it was in stock, it isn't, and then having issues with your formula of something that you claim to be fantastic, it's like, I know it was all marketing, it is all marketing what they do, and I wanted to kind of debunk that, their claims. But even debunking them is as frustrating as watching their shorts or reels or whatever. So yeah. So that was me fencing a little bit, just a little bit. It's not even close to the origin palette fencing that I did. Guys, I'm going offline. I want to make a cup of tea, and I think I'm going to play maybe for half an hour. Maybe. I actually should go to bed as well. Anything else in the near future here? I had to order new raw materials for my manganese green, because I've completely ran out of one of the elements that I need. But it's like almost an automated process right now. I found the right crucibles to make it in, so the oxidation level is right. I have my fan on the right temperature. I've made a program on my computer, automation for my kiln. I showed you how I automated my kiln, right? Did I? I think I did in the past. So I have an automation that will just say, on, and I can go to bed, and it just, in the morning it's done. So that's really been helpful, with making the manganese green, the process of it more streamlined, more effective for me. So yeah, that helps. But I'm waiting for the raw material before I can continue. In the meantime, I've tried a few other variations of it, which haven't been as successful, or I didn't really know what to expect even. So yeah, waiting for the raw material now. In the meantime, next time, Maya Blue. I promise, I did ask for requests, Ian. Maya Blue it is. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining. Make sure, if you are still here, to just quickly hit that like button if you like the stream. If you want to see anything else next time, or if you have any other requests that I might need to dig into my pigment collection for, because the Maya blue that I haven't made, I really need to dig into it. Yeah, Gulch. Yes, Gulch. Yes, but I also do want to offer a little bit of the pigment to a few people that I know who are very interested in it. So I really need to make enough for making paint, and being able to share enough of the pigment as well. At least that's useful for people. Thank you so much, everyone, and hopefully see you very soon. Have a great day.